So now we have a release date for the probably like the biggest one that's come out so far, I would say, PlayStation 5 exclusive, Ratchet and Clank, or as in our notes say, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. The release date is going to be 11th of June, 2021. Initially, the game was described as coming out in the launch window. I would argue that this is not the launch window anymore. It's been developed by Insomniac Games. This is the first game in the series since 2016's remake of Ratchet and Clank, and this is one of my anticipated games of 2021, as I feel like this is a true next-gen game based on what they've shown so far.
I think it's still in the launch window because no.
Would you argue it's a launch window? I would argue purely outside of the launch.
Yeah, because there's no stock. There's no stock. So in terms of penetration of the market, there's not a lot of stock still. I think that he's still in that early stage.
Oh no. Anyway, don't go back to it.
I'm not going back to it. I was so
proud of him not going on with it. I was so proud of him. And then you had to try to open it up.
Because I was trying to get my thoughts together to explain the point I was trying to make, which is that because of so little stock in the hands of consumers, I feel like it's still relatively early on in that sense, in that cycle. So yeah, still part of the.
And are you looking forward to it? Because we know that Swinny is an Xbox shill and doesn't have a PlayStation 2, 3. Oh no, you got a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, 4, or 5. So I'm not going to ask him if he's looking forward to it. Is this something that's on your radar, Mike?
Nope. I was never into the previous games. I heard they're really good games and everything. I just unfortunately just never got into them. It's one of those Mario games are amazing. I just never really heavily got into Mario games.
That's true. That amazes me that you haven't really played any Mario games. Like that's baffling. Because you're like in a weird way the most rounded gaming person on the podcast.
Well, no, that's the thing. I played quite a few of them. I just never really got into the whole thing. Like I never finished Galaxy. I never finished Odyssey.
But you barely played it from memory as well, right?
Galaxy,
no, Odyssey,
like a quarter. Odyssey, like maybe a tenth.
Yeah, just like a world or two.
And it's not because I didn't enjoy it. Nothing like that. I have nothing against. I have something against the complete reuse of a brand, but I have nothing against the games themselves. They're solid games. They're amazing. Each one has something really cool about it that I quite enjoyed. There's just too much stuff out there. So.
Yeah, there's all the
priorities.
5th playthrough of Dark Souls to go through.
I know. I've got a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm seeing someone for that.
I'm really looking forward to this. I think the thing for me is that, I'm just nervous that this game's going to launch and it's going to be like $120 Australian at launch. Which, I guess is almost the equivalent to the $70 US standard that games are launching at now. I just think we've been spoiled in Australia because games have been launching for like $40, $50 US equivalent for a long time.
Because of weird currency games. So. Yeah, like $70 games. It's super cheap. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially given our, lack of scale. I'm really surprised that Australia got it so good.
Yeah. So again, I'm really looking forward to this because this game is a game where they've only built it to work on the PS5. I think it makes perfect sense from a business perspective why they've been launching games on the PS4, including games that were thought to be exclusive to next gen, like RE8. Now is being confirmed as backwards compatible, releasing on last gen.
So I always thought that was the case. I never thought that would be.
No, they never announced that. They only ever said it was going to come out on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. And they were asked the question, they didn't answer it, but they just said we can confirm that it's coming out on the PS5. But then obviously in that show that we had a few weeks ago, they'd confirmed that it was coming out on PS4 and Xbox One as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but this game is interesting because, they're really trying to take advantage of especially the SSD and ray tracing and then also 3D spatial audio. So I don't know. It looks really, this game and Demon's Souls were the two games I looked at from a next gen perspective. Like, wow, okay, that does look. It just looks like something you can't do on the PS4 Pro. So I was like, okay. So if I can get this game for not a ridiculous amount of money, 120, I'd feel too bad about myself if I bought it for 120.
Yeah, imagine how many Pokemon and Animal Crossing cards you could buy for that instead. Or
it's not
how about, I don't know, amiibos that he keep boxed up somewhere
Pokemon
or in a
cards.
shelf. Oh,
Dude,
I don't know what he buys nowadays.
I don't buy
all that
Pokemon
stuff he
cards.
buys and doesn't do anything with.
I was good this week and I didn't add it to the show, but I did buy, and I should say to everyone, and unfortunately we don't have it as a segment, that they did confirm the Sanrio collaboration with Animal Crossing.
He's got him started, Mike. What are you doing?
The Amiibo cards have been confirmed for Australia, so they're EB games, so you can pre-order them now, which I have for my wife.
Okay, yeah,
but I did actually. You won't be able to see it.
Happy wife.
I did get the Cat Mario and Cat Peach amiibo. So I did get amiibo this week, Mike.
Of course you did. No amiibo, no week worth living.
So the last thing,
Intergod household.
The last thing I'll say, because you didn't want to add anything, did you, Swinny?
Sorry,
I think we both just want to move on to the next topic.
No, I was on mute because I'm like, I have zero to add to this discussion. Let's go to the next topic.
The only thing I'll say is there is a female Lombax in this game that they still haven't said what the name is.
A what? A Lombax?
Lombax.
What's a Lombax?
I can send you the wiki article if you want to learn.
Thanks.
It's a fictional.
You say it like okay, right. You say it like
no, it's in Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, but you say it like Swinny and I should know. But
of course you should.
I knew what it was.
There you go.
Okay.
You ignorant, arrogant smug. The only thing I wanted to say is they haven't said what the name of the female Lombax is, even though it's on the box art. Yeah. And I'm pretty much on the same page as other people. I think this whole rift apart is a bit of a dimensional thing. So it's probably
Janet.
No, it's probably Ratchet in another dimension. So
yeah, I think it's Janet. I think that's gonna.
Although there is some word that it could be Rosie. So yeah, this game.
Rosie.
I'm going to be super interested in it. Although I'm not a fan that the 4K version runs at 30 frames per second. Like
what?
That's just
on a PS5.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Yeah. I mean, look. Yeah.
I don't like it, man. 60 frames
especially for a PlayStation exclusive. I get it for something that's cross-platform, but for an exclusive,
it's 60 frames per second at 1080, and I mean probably at 1440 if they had that mode. Looking at you, Sony. But,
if you look at this game running, like I think I understand why. Like this game's doing a lot.
It looks insane.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. I'm just surprised from I guess a goal and marketing perspective that they didn't say no. It has to run at 60 regardless.
I think we should get used to it, honestly, because I think that's going to be the tale of this generation.
Oh, dude! Whoever thought that you're going to get 60 FPS as a baseline and 120 as
I think 60 will be baseline, just not 4K 60.
Yeah, I think the generation in general will be 4K 30. 1080p 60. I think that's what. And I know you guys hate it. That's not
what it's sold as.
Just wait, Mike.
This generation.
I know you guys hate it, but I still game on 1080 because I think the 4K thing is so overplayed, and I'm happy with that. 1080 60. I'm like, sign me up. If every game is 1080 60, I'm
but you're in front of a monitor and stuff, right? Not that makes a difference, but 1080 on. So first of all, you can't get 60-inch TVs in 1080. So you kind of have to get the 4K.
Sure.
And then if you set it to 1080p, which you can, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. It absolutely does look blurry at that.
Yeah, I know, but that's why these TVs are dumb. Like, so I'm not a fan of it. But anyway, let's move on to the next story.
By the way, sorry, I say this